Alright guys, today we're going to discuss the blood supply of the GI tract. Alright, to start out here, we're going to break the GI tract into three parts. So three parts of the GI tract to make it much easier here. First part is going to be the foregut. Now when I think of foregut, I think of, if you think of the abdomen as a, fourth, fifth grader, this is the stuff you're going to think of right here. So the foregut contains the esophagus, the stomach, the proximal duodenum, which is part of the small intestine, the liver, gallbladder, and the pancreas. Technically, you could include the spleen as well. Fix that G. Okay. Now, the second part here is going to be the midgut. Okay, so the midgut is going to include the distal part, the duodenum, so from the small intestine now, and the other two remaining parts of the small intestine as well. And then we work into the large intestine with the cecum, appendix, the ascending colon, and the proximal 2/3 of the transverse colon. All right, and the third part here, so we have foregut, midgut, and now lastly we have the hindgut. So this is going to be the remaining stuff here. So this will be the distal third of the transverse colon. And from there, descending colon to the sigmoid colon, to the rectum, and lastly, okay. So it's three parts of the GI tract that we break down here, and we break that down and make it nice and easy for us because these three parts are going to be supplied by the three different arteries that we're going to talk about here. Okay, so for the foregut, so this is going to be supplied by the celiac trunk here. Celiac trunk here. So if you look on our model over here, this here is the celiac trunk. Celiac artery, they say. And the celiac trunk or celiac artery is going to branch into three different smaller arteries, which is going to be the left gastric artery, the splenic artery, and also the common hepatic arteries. Okay, so as you say, the left gastric artery is going to supply the stomach, splenic artery is going to supply the spleen, common hepatic artery is going to supply the liver. So that is the celiac artery there, celiac trunk. The midgut now, so the midgut and hindgut are going to both be supplied by these mesenteric arteries. So the midgut, so it's above the hindgut, right? And what's above mean? Superior. So superior mesenteric artery. So that will go green here. right here. So that's going to be supplying the far majority of your small intestine, which almost all of it, and then into the large intestine, all the way up to the proximal 2/3 of the transverse colon. If you remember how, so it goes, small intestine empties into the cecum, and then it goes ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and then into the sigmoid, rectum, anal canal. So just, this is a large intestine, so ascending colon, it's gonna be our start point, the cecum, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid, rectal, and then down to the anal canal as well. Okay, so the midgut supplied by that one, the superior mesenteric artery, and then lastly the hindgut. So I just think of it as it's lower, so below. It's going to be supplied by the inferior mesenteric artery. So your hindgut here, this artery, so it's going to be the distal 1/3 of the transverse, all the descending colon, the sigmoid, rectal, and anal canal. So that there is your inferior. Which we can see labeled is right here. And then we'll do, so the midgut, trace this over here. So the midgut would be all of your small intestine, which we don't have labeled here, into the large intestine, the cecum, appendix is right down there, the ascending colon, the proximal 2/3 of the transverse. So that would be your superior mesenteric artery. Okay, did a little breakdown there. That was giving me a little trouble in my studies, so I wanted to make it nice and clear. So it's easy for me to remember: foregut, midgut, hindgut. Foregut is, stomach, liver, gallbladder, those primary GI organs. Into the midgut is when you're going to get your intestines, so your small intestine, large intestine, and then hindgut is going to be the rest of the large intestine into the rectum, and so on and so forth. So celiac trunk is up top, that's doing the foregut, and then between superior and hindgut, remember they're both supplied by mesenteric arteries, so just remember midgut is above the hindgut, so superior above inferior. That's how I remember that. So hopefully you learned something. If you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. All right.